We're really proud of this guy. He, from the class of 97, he played in our first Final Four team in 96. I don't know, I think in my next life, I want to have his job. Because every time I turn on the nines, he's got beautiful women around him, or gourmet food and wine that he's sampling. And he gets paid for this. He gets paid for it. But again, we're really happy to have this guy here helping us out, and very proud of him, Ryan Armani.
What an intro. How about it? Great job, Coach. I'll tell you, you can come by the studio anytime, take those two women off my hands. It'd be great. Got no problems with that at all. It's so great to be here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. 25 years. Are you kidding me? Round of applause. 25 years. Life comes at you fast, man. I'm telling you, doesn't it? You all look so different. Everybody but you. You look the same, Coach. I don't know what your secret is, but let us know. Good woman, that's right. Good woman will get you there anytime. You know, getting older happens. There's no doubt about that. At one point, you were all 16, 17, 18-year-old kids comparing your radar gun scores or your radar gun readings. Now, how many of you tonight said, Aura Ring, sleep score 71, pretty good stuff? No comparables on the Aura Ring? Okay, wrong crowd. That's okay. But even back to when you were kids, right, when you were playing, 16, 17, 18 years old, batting average, RBIs, wins, they meant something. You had no idea what exit velo was, what spin rate was, and I don't know if anybody in this room still does. Maybe you do, Chris. You know about that stuff. Good job, all right, home run here. Well, I'll tell you, funny story from year one, okay? Coach asked me to MC this thing. He called me up and he said, Ryan, we're starting a Hall of Fame. This is 3 years ago. And I said, well, I'm a better football player than I was a baseball player, but I'll go in the Hall of Fame as a baseball player. And he said, no, we want you to MC. So here I am. But it's great to be with you guys tonight. I'm honored to be here. You are the team that set the standard for Grosse Pointe South baseball. So much of what happened afterwards is because of you. Everybody in this room, the field that the kids get to play on in the years after you is because of you. The standard that was set for Grosse Pointe baseball after you came was because of you. And we are honored to have you here inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame tonight as a group. So give yourselves a round of applause. We are also honored to induct two individuals who meant so much to Grosse Pointe South baseball, Ed Wernett and Tom Tomorowski as well. So without further ado, let's get this party started. Our first inductee tonight was considered the greatest all-around athlete at Grosse Pointe High School. Ed Wernett, class of 1933, a three-sport star not only in high school, but a three-sport star in college as well. He went on to play 3 seasons of professional baseball and then joined the Navy just before World War II. How about that? Incredible. After the war, he came back to Grosse Pointe and made his mark on the community. He was the head coach in 3 sports, football, basketball, and baseball. Can you even imagine that today, what that's like? He represented this school, this community, and this organization tremendously, and his worthiness is the honor tonight. Representing Mr. Wernett tonight, his children are here, I believe. Come on up, please. Mary Linda, Edward, and Tom. Edward and Tom are here tonight. Ed, come on, have a seat. How you doing?
Thank you, Ryan, very much for that introduction, and thank you to the Grosse Pointe alumni, and especially to Matt Ryan for all of the work that he put together. We had to get a lot of information together, and between the two of us, especially Matt, we got everything together and found out about what a great career our dad had, both participating in the sport and also then coming back in coaching. And growing up, my brother and I were very fortunate to have our dad as a father who could coach us, even though we really didn't get the athletic genes that he did. we always talk about that. What happened, you know? But he helped us all through, including through high school, and it was wonderful. He was a great dad, and I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you to this group so much, because our family is grateful and honored to have our dad posthumously put into the Hall of Fame. It is a real honor for us, and it's a real touching moment. Dad was a great father, as Tom has mentioned, but he had an air about him. He had a quiet brilliance for his leadership, his competitiveness, and his respectful thoughts for people and competitors. And he taught us a lot in that realm of things also. You know, and going out as kids to the ball field, and he's pitching to my, when we were in Little League. And I just remember those times, what he was able to teach me about baseball. The techniques for stealing bases, for sliding into and alleviating, getting around a tag, certain techniques that he would use. So we just are grateful again and know how much Dad loved Grosse Pointe South. And I thank you very much for this honor.
It's a tricky thing, this guy here. There we go. All right. Oh yeah, Jesus, please. Very nice, thank you. Great job.
Thank you.
So I screwed up the monologue, I kicked the stand, and I forgot the plaque. We're off to a great start. Talking about the Hall of Fame here for a minute, jeez. Our next inductee from the class of 1977, a player whose career spanned, oh, you're great, Meg, thank you. How about a round of applause for Meg over here? From the class of 1977, a player whose career spanned beyond Grosse Pointe South. Incredible success at the collegiate level and professional levels too. Tom Temrowski led Florida Southern to a Division II College World Series championship where he was named tournament MVP, finishing his collegiate career top 10 in program history in home runs, RBIs, walks, putouts, and on-base percentage. Drafted by the Houston Astros in 1986, his excellence in over a number of years in high school, college, and the professional ranks is why we are honored to induct him tonight into the Grosse Pointe South Baseball Hall of Fame. And if there was music being played, we would play Burnin' Down the House. House, come on up here. Tom Temrowski. Sheridan down the house. Here he is. Congratulations. There you go. You got it.
About 2 months ago, my son called. He said, you're going to the college or the high school Hall of Fame. I couldn't believe it. And I was quite honored and quite humbled that I got elected into this Hall of Fame. And I'm going to tell us, I only know a few people here. So I'm going to tell a quick story about myself. I went to Grosse Pointe North High School for 2 years. I tried out for the baseball team. In both those years I got cut. And I went home and I said, what coach would cut a kid off a freshman baseball team? Well, my grandparents lived in Grosse Pointe City, and I went up to my mom and dad and I said, can I transfer to Grosse Pointe South and try out for the varsity baseball team? And both my parents knew what my dream was, and they said yes. So my junior and senior year, I played varsity baseball for the Blue Devils. And I graduated in 79, not 77.
Oh. Masturbation.
That's 2 years. I feel younger. So I graduated in 79, and then I went to Macomb County Community College. I went there for 4 years, part-time. And if you want to play baseball for Macomb, you try out in the fall of the year to play on the spring team. Well, all 4 years when I tried out, I got cut each year. But I never stopped playing baseball. And I never would let Macomb College take away my dream of playing baseball. And I got my associate's degree in 1983. At that time, my mom asked me if I would move down to Florida and help take care of my aunt at Holiday, Florida. So I said yes. So I moved to Florida, and I'm taking care of my aunt. And one night I decided to go to a bar. And there was a group of 6 guys at a table talking baseball. And I went over and chatted with them for a little bit, introduced myself. And the next thing I know, I'm playing for the Pinellas Park Panthers Summer League. Well, we won our division, and a team from Lakeland, Florida won their division. They were called the Lakeland Dukes. And we had to go play the Dukes in a 3-game series in Lakeland. The first base umpire was very friendly to me. He was asking me all kinds of questions about myself. Where did I play and whatnot. The next day I'm talking to the first base umpire again, and he said the coach for the Dukes, his name was Chuck Anderson, he was a pitching coach for Florida Southern. He said, Coach Anderson would like to meet with you after this tournament. And I said, great. I called my parents up and told them, I got in my car, and I drove back home, and then I met my mom and dad, my grandfather and me. We drove back to Florida Southern College to meet Coach Anderson. He called me 2 days later and said, I want you to play baseball for Florida Southern College. And all I thought was my dream was back alive. So I played at Florida Southern 84, 85, 86. In 84, we had an unbelievable team. We went to regionals, we won every game. We're in the College World Series, and in the national championship game, we lost to a team from California. I go back to Florida Southern in 85, and our season starts off 6 wins, 5 losses. In a local paper there, the Lakeland Ledger wrote an article about us and said, the dynasty is over. Well, we heard about that in practice. One of our team captains called a team meeting on a Wednesday night. It was at Cow and it was nickel beer night. It's the only bar I know you can walk in with $2 and you can't walk out. But it was a good meeting, it was a very good meeting. I'm telling you, we went 54-10. We went 54-10 and won every game in the regionals and went to the World Series, and we never lost a game. And you heard what Ryan said about the World Series. We won the national championship in '85. That was the World Series MVP. I go back in '86. We had an unbelievable season, but we lost in regionals. I graduated from Florida Southern College in '86. I get in my car and I drive back home. Back then, Major League Baseball held their draft in June. So I wake up on draft day, go down in the kitchen. I'm sitting in the kitchen with my mom and the phone's not ringing. And I go, who's going to draft a 25-year-old first baseman from Florida Southern? And she goes, don't worry about it. So she told me to go buy some stamps at the post office. I go get her some stamps. I come back home. I go in the kitchen and she's screaming. I go, what happened? She goes, the Astros just drafted you. It was a dream come true for me. I ended up playing in the New York Penn League and in the South Atlantic League. I had great coaches in college and great coaches in the pros. I met a lot of nice people along the way and made a lot of good friends. And when someone tells you a story, something you probably all heard it, they'll say, and I wouldn't change one thing. You guys heard that, people telling you a story, I wouldn't change one thing about it. What I just shared with you, if I could change one thing, I wish I got drafted when I was 20 instead of 25. So I'd like to thank the Dugout Club, and I'd like to thank Grosse Pointe South for electing me in the Hall of Fame. Two people I'd like to thank, my son Matt and Matt Reno, for all the hard work they did to get me in the Hall of Fame. And I'd like to thank my family for coming. So, thank you very much.
All right, we're going to honor the assistants from 2001 now. Coach Griesbaum obviously gets the bulk of all the recognition when it comes to the program, and rightfully so, but he has had a lot of help along the way. He has had great assistant coaches right beside him every step of the way, and it was no different in 2001. I'm going to talk about all the assistant coaches and ask you to come up at that point. Coach Bill Moak is no longer with us, but what a presence. He was a great player in his day, a captain on the Michigan Wolverines 1953 College World Series team. He took great pride in assisting his young players reach their potential. A tremendous man. I was able to play for him as well. Just an incredible person, an incredible human being, and what a presence to be around right beside you, Coach. Mark Orr. If you were lucky enough to be around Coach Orr, he made an impact on you. Not only was he among the greatest trash talkers of all time and hated every umpire, it was tremendous to be around him. He was as intense as they come, and he was a winner. He loved winning. An incredible playing career of his own. It was his impact in youth baseball and Grosse Pointe South that will never be forgotten. We love you, Coach. And then there's this guy, Hack. John Hackett. My goodness. Perhaps no man, aside from Coach Griesbaum, has meant more to the success of the program at Grosse Pointe South High School. Decades of service to the program, these players, and this community. The pitching coach of the Grosse Pointe South Blue Devils has helped countless players reach their potential and get to the next level. part of 2 state championship teams, a runner-up in 7 Final Fours during his tenure. He also earned Assistant Coach of the Year honors in the state of Michigan. Give a round of applause for John Hackett. If I could get Coach Moak's daughter and son up here first to get his plaque. Coach Moak's family, that'd be great. Coach Hackett.
Would you like to say a few words first?
Well, thank you very much. Thanks to Grosse Pointe South Baseball, Coach Griesbaum, Hackett, Reno. Thanks very much for including our family in this. And this is an evening that my father would have loved. He loved any time he could be in a room full of baseball players and baseball fans. This would have been a perfect night for him. The 2001 team was always a team that was very special to him. He talked fondly about all of the players, constantly. And this is a man that played at the very highest level, won multiple national championships in college baseball, throughout the Federation League with the Detroit Electricians and Pensacola back in the Federation ball. But he always talked very fondly about his experience at South and with all the parents and as an administrator and particularly a coach. So from the Moak family and with the Griesbaum family, I'm not sure, but I think we're the only people that have 3 generations that span with the Griesbaum family between my father, myself, and my son Cameron, who's in the back here with us, who have played for Dan. It's been a wonderful, wonderful experience for all of us. And Sally, anything to add to that? You're good.
I'll be real quick. A lot of fun with this group. We've had a lot of fun with all the teams, but this group was a great group. It was great to see a bunch of guys here, see most everyone except for a couple of guys. And I know there's going to be some guys coming up here with some stories of their own. So thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Tremendous. Great job, guys. Unbelievable. Now to the team itself. The 2001 team didn't just win a trophy. They left a blueprint for what Grosse Pointe South baseball is supposed to look like. Tough, united, relentless, and never out of the game. A team that started the year 4-6. Now, Coach Griesbaum has over 900 wins, but what people don't talk about is he's got over 500 losses. And I don't say that for any other reason than this. It's that schedule that he is not afraid to play that makes his teams battle-tested. And perhaps none tells the story better than the 2001 team. Any place, any day, anywhere. That's what the motto was. After that 4-6 start, South went 12 and won 12 of the next 14 games, and you were rolling on your way to the districts. And how about coming from behind in 5 of the 6 postseason games? So many memorable moments that we'll talk about tonight, including the squeeze. And for everything to be perfect in that moment, to call it, first of all, was nuts. I don't know what you were thinking at the time, but I don't know if you'd ever done that before, but that was crazy. And then for everybody to execute that, for no reaction, I don't know if anybody saw it or if you were like, what? But no reaction from anybody because you had to sell it and execute it. So that was incredible. Tonight, we don't just celebrate a championship team, we celebrate a new era of Grosse Pointe South baseball, ushered in by the 2001 state championship team. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the head coach, Dan Griesbaum.
Yeah, the suicide squeeze. We'll talk about that in a little bit. What Ryan said is absolutely true. This group was basically the catalyst that started things rolling. We were fortunate enough to get back to the Final Four in 03 and again in 05. And from that point on, after 01, 03, and 05, we felt like we could contend just about every year. And we've really done that. We were in the Final Four 3 times in 5 years again in 14, 15, and 18. To make, and then again, of course, last year, 25, which was our 9th trip to the Final Four, which is, by the way, the most of any Division I public school. The only school in the state, in fact, who has more Final Four appearances is Brother Rice. And they are not a public school, as you know, that has closed enrollment. They grab players from just about everywhere. And for us to be able to compete with them and the schools that are so much larger than us, it's just been a tremendous blessing. And as Ryan mentioned, my assistant coaches, John, Matt, Jr., have been with me for over 75 years. And you've got that kind of stability. It's very easy to understand why we've been so successful. Overall, we've got 27 district titles. We've been at 13 trips to the Elite Eight. We were runner-up in 14, state champs, of course, in 01 and in 2018. And again, as a result of you guys, you know, our motto, tradition never graduates. Every kid now that comes in knows that there are expectations. I always said in the beginning when I coached, I always had to go to the Final Four. I'm on the board of the association. I always had to be there. And it was at the state finals. Man, I'd just like to get here once. Please, Lord, let me get here once. And after I was there once, man, I want to go back again. And again, and again. And this last one was better than all of them. Because that's just the expectation that we now have. The downside of it, I guess, is you're disappointed if you don't get there, which people really don't understand is so difficult to do. This group did it. It's so difficult, the single elimination game, to make it that far. There have been the Orchard Lake St. Mary's of the world, the Brother Rices of the world, that stay home with 9, 10, 11, 13 D1 players on their team. I've never had any more than 2 at one time, and I usually don't have any. And it's just a credit to this community and the baseball that's played in this community and the Little Leagues and the Federation programs and all the people who put that together. That's why Grosse Pointe baseball is what it is. So again, thank you. Thank you very much. I want to mention a couple of things. We try to pride ourselves on not just success on the baseball field, but in the classroom and in the community as well. I want this program to be about integrity, about ethics, about honesty, about doing things the right way. And academics, I'm just so amazed. Since 2019, we have had 37 academic all-staters. That's 4.0 GPA or greater, 37. We've had 5 last year, 6 the year before, 5 the year before that. That is just phenomenal accomplishment. And our team grade point last year was 3.79. Team grade point. So they not only excel on the field, but in the classroom as well. Okay, Ryan mentioned several things I won't repeat, but yeah, we started that year at 4 and 6. And when you're going down to Ohio and playing Cincinnati Moeller, who was basically the Brother Rice of Ohio. We played Sycamore also. We played Dublin Kaufman, who won the Ohio State Championship in 01, as we did. And we came back there, as I said, 4 and 6. But our tough schedule helps us, helps our kids not see anybody in the playoffs that was better than what we saw during the year. Our kids are not deer in the headlights when playoff comes around. So I don't really care what my record is. And this team, that championship game, if you were there, which a lot of you were, parents and so on, how many people did Grand Ledge have on their side of the field? It looked like the whole town of Grand Ledge was at the game. Seriously. Their whole side, in the middle of the stands, were full, and we had a decent crowd. We'd probably have about 500. I think they had about 3,000. And I think we were a little bit intimidated in the beginning. We came out a little bit shaky, made a couple errors, they're up 1-0. But thanks to our bulldog on the mound, Matt Middleton, who shut them down the rest of the way. This was 6 All-Staters on that team, first and second team. Shut them out the rest of the way. Pepler singles in our tying run, and now we come to the last inning. And Pepler singles. They try to pick him off first. It's a wild throw. He runs all the way around the third. Next, we have a strikeout. So we've got 1 out, man on third. Up comes Mike Hackett. And I didn't, I guess, like the swings maybe that Mike was getting against that lefty. But I also knew at the same time, and this crazy thought just got into my mind, I'm going to squeeze. I'm going to squeeze. And I gave the sign, and Pepler didn't do one of those, and Hack didn't go. He just, oh, okay. The pitch is up here. You will see it. The pitch is up here. He gets it down. Pepler crosses home plate before the pitcher picks up the ball. 2-1. Then the bottom of the 7th. Middleton starts the inning. Ground ball to Hack, 1 out. Single through the middle, little piddly C&I ground ball. Gets through the middle. Walks the next guy. Bring in our closer, who had done it 11 times before that. In that year, he had 12 that year. Chris Getz comes in from shortstop. Jordy goes over to short. We strike out 1 guy. Next guy walks, which I thought Chris got robbed. And Matt Bonet comes up, who was a left-handed hitter, scholarship to Iowa. And Matt strikes him out, or Chris strikes him out. And it was so shocking. I think Sean McLeod was a little bit shocked. He held the ball for a couple of seconds. Oh, we won! It was just crazy. And the celebration started. It was just an amazing game, an amazing feat by a great group of kids. Great group of kids. Overall, the team batting average that year, 325, and the MAC, they had 348. They had 21 home runs, 68 stolen bases. They were 9-1, were MAC White champs. Fielding average 931, and their overall record 27-12. Again, not as good as some overall records tend to be for state champs, but again, it was our schedule that did it. All right, at this point, I'm going to introduce the players. I'd like to show you a little something here first.
Reporting I had to break that rule. Turning yesterday in my press credential to be a dad. Sweating through the state high school baseball championship game. To take you out of this Ryan laid down a terrific two-strike high ball, clean bunch before Mike Kepler for a 2-1 lead. Ran the edge and runners at second and third with Chris Katz. Struck up the final two hitters to stand up from that penalty, giving South the first ever baseball championship to the Wonder Pointe. That's unbelievable. Much better than what I thought. Unbelievable. You can't tell what it's going to feel like in third experience. It's just great.
Thank you to Jack Ryan and Skyview Productions for putting that together. Obviously, that wasn't in HD, as you can tell. Didn't have that back then. So, yeah, by the way, anybody wear the ring tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, nice.
I got both of them on. They make them a little bigger now. That's all right.
You're gonna from my dad's store.
Okay, first of all, I'm going to introduce players individually. Come on up and get your plaques. John, could you just help me with handing out the plaques, please? I'd appreciate it. Whenever you have a state championship team, it takes a village, so to speak. It's not just the starters. One thing that I've been accused of, criticized for, whatever, and it's okay, is having large squads. And the reason for that is, number one, I hate to cut. In 43 years, it's harder for me to cut than it was back in 1984. You can believe that. I hate cutting. So I do keep a lot of players. But also, I want as many kids as possible to be exposed to this program. I want to give many kids an opportunity to be a part of a team like this one. And this team, as well as the other Final Four teams I've had and the best teams that I've had, one characteristic stands out more than anything else, and that's that they're team players. They're team players. They're unselfish. And I value these non-starters or role players. They're important to the team. You can't be without them. We'll play sometimes 16, 18 kids in one way, shape, or form in a doubleheader or even a single game, just depending on the situation. So I appreciate these players very, very much. First, the ones that could not be here, Ian Millhouse was an infielder for us, played 19 games, pitch ran a lot, hit 333. Pete Costu, a pitcher. Most of these are juniors, by the way, who their next year, their senior year, contributed quite a bit. He pitched in 8 games, 16 innings pitched, 1-0 with a 3.06. Mark Pointe, another pitcher, pitched in 9 games. Andrew Scavone, backup catcher to Sean McLeod, did a great job for us defensively. And Mark Pepler, I will talk a little bit more about later. But he could not make it tonight. The first player I'd like to introduce, come on up here, number 12, Jordy McKenzie. Jordy played shortstop and second for us, did a great job. 25 games at either of those positions. 42 at-bats, was just an excellent fielder. We didn't have any doubt. We put him in, he's going to do the job. The key thing I remember of was the game against East Detroit. He takes a relay, guy going from first to third, and just guns this guy out at third base. And that was a key turning point in the game. We only beat East Detroit 3-1. So Jordy, thanks and congratulations on the Hall of Fame. Number 14, Heath Schoenberg. Heath pitched for us. We have the top guys obviously throw in the league games, and everybody else throws on weekends. Well, he did that through 9 games for us in relief mostly, 14 2/3 innings, 1-0 with a 4.30. And we need these guys also, especially pitchers in practice and inter-squad games and so on. You need that pitcher, lefty, righty, whatever it happens to be. We've got them available. I really appreciate what Heath did for the 2001 team. Heath Schoenberg. Number 18, Bobby Danforth. He played in 18 games for us, 27 at-bats. In the outfield, he only made 1 error. Excellent defensive replacement in the outfield. Pinch ran for us quite a bit. 4 stolen bases, 10 runs scored. Again, his forte was defense, and again, opened up, played a lot in the senior year in 2002. Bobby Danforth. Tommy Yankee, number 20. Appeared in 28 games for us, defensive replacement, pinch runner, scored 16 runs, stole 5 bases for us, only 2 errors in the field all season long. Did a great job over there. Any of the infield positions, he was very versatile. Tommy Yankee. Ollie Stevens, number 21. Ollie appeared in 14 games. Again, great defensive replacement, 0 errors on the season. Had an excellent he's an excellent outfielder with a strong arm. Had many key hits, RBIs. Great teammate, always supportive of those around him. Paul Stevens. Tom Loringer, number 22. Tom appeared in 21 games for us. Again, mostly as an infielder, but also playing in the infield positions, mostly second base. Had a couple doubles, 7 RBIs, 13 runs. Pinch ran quite a bit as well, but most of all as a defensive replacement, sometimes a pinch hitter. Todd Loringer. One of our only 2 sophomores on that team, Taylor Morawski. Taylor came up at the very end, had 6 at-bats, had 3 hits in those 6 at-bats, double and a home run. He did DH in the championship game and got a double there. Played in 2003 on the Final Four team and had a very, very successful career overall. Started on both 02 and 03. Taylor Morawski. Chris DeRozier, number 28. Chris, unfortunately, was only able to be with us part of the year, but played at the corners mostly first base. Did hit .333 in his limited appearances. No errors in the field. It was great having Chris and Ian on the team originally. We thought that they'd be great additions to the team, and they're team players. They're willing to do anything for the team, whether it's warming up a pitcher, defensive replacement, whatever it happens to be. And I appreciate Chris being around. Chris DeRozier. And our other sophomore could not be here tonight because his wife might be delivering as we speak. But his dad's here, and I would like him to come on up and receive his plaque. Sophomore number 32, Danny Keogh. Danny appeared in 17 games for us, mostly at third base. Did a great job for us at 282 and his 42 at bats. He had 14 putouts, 21 assists. Started also the next 2 years in 02 and 03. Again, played on another Final Four team. Had many key hits for us that year. Danny Keogh. Bobby Johnson. Okay, now with basically our starters who started most of the games that year and especially during the playoff run. The first one, number 13, Pat Michaels. Pat was 20 for 70 at 286, 12 RBIs, 14 walks. We had a high on-base percentage, good eye at the plate. Played left field 31 games, had 0 errors in the field, 0 errors. Very solid, defensively accurate arm, Pat Michaels. We won't remind him. He said, I missed the suicide squeeze call. But it wasn't with 2 strikes though, was it? No. Okay, next, number 15, Johnny Halpin. John was just extremely steady at second base. Okay? Didn't try to be fancy, just made the routine play. Played 30 games over there, hit 271, 333 in the MAC, 33 putouts, 52 assists, 7 stolen bases. That last out, though, Johnny, in the semifinal game, it seemed like it took forever. But Johnny, get there, please, get there, pick up the ball, throw it to first. He got him about a half a step. But that was Johnny. He knew he was going to make the play. No big deal. Johnny Halpin. Number 30, Shawnee McLeod. Sean had a great senior year, hit 341. That was 28 for 82, 333 in a MAC. 7 doubles, 2 home runs, 19 RBIs, 18 walks. 971 fielding percentage on 186 putouts, 17 assists. Just excellent behind the plate, called a great game. Did a little bit of pitching also. We got on the mound once in a while. But great job the senior year, Sean McLeod. Number 27, Mike Hackett. The thing I appreciate about Mike the most is, Mike, thanks for not making me look like a fool. I appreciate that very, very much. Mike had a great year, hit 360 on 32 for 89, 8 doubles, 22 RBIs. Hit 308 in the MAC. Excellent fielder at third base, fielded 909. And that suicide squeeze, I may not call it if it's somebody else up at the plate. But Mike had great bat control, and I really believed in my heart at that time. I believed in my heart at the time he was going to get it down, and he certainly did. Mike Hackett. Chad Golke, number 19. What a year he had. 415 overall. 415, 483 in the MAC. 34 for 82, 25 RBIs, 8 doubles, 4 home runs, only 1 error in the field. Was 4-2 on the mound with a 3.32, 33 Ks in 44 and a third innings. 2-0 in the MAC, 2.47. Again, just an excellent year. Contributed so much, Chad Golden. Pickle, Andrew Vlasic. Now you want to hear some insane pitching stats, just insane. 10-0 this year with a save. 1.90 ERA. 5-0 in the MAC with a 1.28. 72 strikeouts and 62 and 2/3. He was All-State first team that year as a result. All-State first team. Just had a phenomenal year. And by the way, he was All-State in 2000 as an outfielder. So he did it at the bat as well as on the mound.
That was second.
Second team. That's all right. They don't need to know it was second team. It's okay. Voted MVP by his teammates that year, Andrew Vlasic. Again, I said I'd mention Mark Pepler. Mark just had a fabulous year as well, and I know he really is bummed that he couldn't be here. But Mark hit 398, 45 hits, 11 doubles, 5 home runs, 34 RBIs, 14 stolen bases. He did it all, running, fielding, hitting with power. He did it all. 1,000 fielding average, never made an error out in center field. And again, as I mentioned, drove in the tying run and scored the winning run in the state championship game. Mark Pepler. '34, Matt Middleton. Come on up, buddy. What a great postseason run this guy had in the playoffs. And people couldn't believe it. Going into the state championship game, he was 5-6. That was his record, 5-6 going into the state championship game. But he had a 2.25 ERA, which means nobody could have sued for non-support more than Matt could have. He certainly could have. But he also drew the tough assignments, there's no doubt. He was 2-1 in the MAC with a 3.07. Played some first base at 18 hits for us, 3 doubles. There was no term that better describes him than Bulldog. If you watch the whole video of that game, you'd see he was just possessed. He was not going to lose. I'm sure he felt like he didn't want to come out. But when you have a closer who can throw upper 80s, low 90s, I think you can understand why he came out, and Chris had to close that one. But he was just a tremendous asset out on the mound. Had a great senior year as well. This was his junior year. Had a great senior year as well, where he did get the support. The Bulldog, again, Matt Middleton. Number 11, Chris Getz. Chris, as you know, is our shortstop and our closer. He had 23 saves in his career. 12 that year and 11 the next year as a senior. He was All-State 3 years. Sophomore, junior, senior year. Senior year, also Mr. Baseball in Michigan. And as you know, drafted White Sox, Royals, and so on. Now currently the general manager of the Chicago White Sox. That year, however, Chris was 3-0 with 12 saves and a 1.38, hit .430, 46 hits, 7 doubles, 2 triples, 8 home runs. Hit for power as well, 8 home runs. Hit .446 in the MAC, and also 4 saves in the MAC. Chris, as you know, we're extremely proud of you, what you've accomplished. You helped, again, like the rest of these guys, put South on the baseball map, and we wish you continued success in professional baseball. Chris Getz. Okay, we're going to call the captains up at this point. Sean McLeod, Andrew Vlasic, and Chris Getz. Ryan, come on up.
Try something here. We're going to have a little chat. Let's see if that one works.
Goodbye.
Here you go. You guys gotta work that one down there. And we'll see. Look at that. It works. The three captains of the first state championship team in Grosse Pointe South baseball history. What do you guys remember? What's the most vivid memory of that year? Chris?
Yeah, the nickel beer night. That's what we're gonna run it from 4 and 6.
I'm gonna have to go with that out at third base against East Detroit, where I made the throw to Mackenzie, and he made a perfect throw to Hackett at third. And I remember Chad and I were in the outfield. We were coming in on the ball together, and I screamed at him, "It's mine!" And then I picked it up and threw it, and Jordy caught it glove side. I think if he had a good across his body to get it and still make the throw, the guy would have been safe because it was a bang bang play. But that was probably one of my funnest memories.
What about you, Sean?
I mean, I would kind of echo what Chris said, 4 and 6. That's not a good record. But I think generally as a team, we had kind of a quiet confidence. I think we emulated kind of Coach Griesbaum's personality really, really well. I don't think we stepped on the field thinking that that team's better than us, no matter what our record was.
At what point during that year did you think you could win a state championship? Did you even think it was possible at any point along the way?
Well, I think it's important for everyone to know too. I mean, it speaks to the community, right? I mean, we grew up in such a supportive, baseball-driven part of the state, and a lot of us, we won a state championship in Little League. So, you know, obviously it's much different when you get to the high school level, but we had so many players on that team that had played together and grew up together, made so many accomplishments together. So, to be honest with you, I mean, maybe we were just extremely arrogant, but we weren't focused on a state championship. We were just trying to win games, right? And you know, it was challenging early. The weather was really tough. I remember the East Detroit game where, I don't know what the weather was, heavy winds. I mean, it just wasn't baseball weather. Let alone, you know, going down to Ohio and having to face really challenging clubs and cold weather. That almost made it only made us stronger. But there was a lot of fight in the group because we believed in each other, because we had accomplished a lot with each other. That speaks to just the community and everyone growing up, and so we were able to take it to the finish line that year.
We talked so much tonight about, you know, you guys, that 2001 team, taking a new era of Grosse Pointe South baseball, really, like setting the standard at that point. And I was on the 96 Final Four team. I was so tired of hearing about 87 at the time. That was a Final Four team. We wanted to go one step further. We didn't get there. We were so disappointed when you guys came along in 01. You got to finish the job. Did you consider the history of South baseball at that point during the run? How close you were? How you got to a Final Four, but you wanted to take it a step further?
I mean, I did. I mean, and listen, you know, we talk about. You know, we felt like we were carrying on a tradition. We never felt like, you know, we started it. And it was because of your group, Danny Jr. I think about Charlie Braun all the time, and I know that there were a lot of good players prior to even that, where then we looked up to, and we knew that Grosse Pointe South did not win a state championship. So when we were in that position, it was extra special. We felt the pressure. I remember, you know, going to the bullpen, warming up for that 9th inning, and you know, I'm out there with Coach Hackett, who I've known, you know, since I was little, and you know, we played. I mean, he's been my coach since I was 6 years old. And he looked at me as I was warming up, and you experienced this moment that you just had never really felt before. Even, you know, we talk about the state championship in Little League, or maybe some smaller moments. And he looked at me and he said, "You know, all those Grand Ledge people here, and they're loud. They're going to go quiet quickly." You know, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, really? You know, like, okay, if you say so. You know, but it was, yeah, I mean, it forced us to dig deep. We had this inner confidence because of the accomplishments that we had. But the supporting crew, the coaches, obviously Coach Griesbaum, a legendary coach in the state of Michigan and nationally, and Coach Hackett means so much to me and so many others. Invested in us, not only as players, but people. You know, we're close to these people. people still. They care about us just beyond just playing baseball. That means a lot. I know it's not just us, it's every player that's come through the program. So, and that's why it's cemented in as a place that has a tradition for baseball, and it's carried out, and we're very proud to be a big part of that.
We talk about the squeeze. What did you guys think at the time? What do you remember about the squeeze in the championship game?
Just remember it came back into the dugout, like, Coach put the sign on. I'm like, oh crap, Hackett better not screw it up. But I mean, when it happened and he executed it flawlessly, I mean, that was the most game-changing moment, and it secured the title. So I mean, kudos to Coach for having the stones to make that call, and then for the execution part of it too. So it was, I mean,
And that, that wasn't a big. We didn't do that a lot. So it was just extra shocking. So that sign was on, and the one thing I will say too, you didn't miss your signs, and it was talked about earlier, about Mike and Pepler. It was such a detail that was engraved in us that it just that wasn't going to happen. So I'm not surprised that they were locked in and acted like it was part of everyday life. But that's not something that we did ever. So that's what made it even extra special.
Whatever happened to the ball?
Real quick, I was on deck when that happened. I didn't see the sign at all because I'm mentally preparing. I'm like, I got to get that run in. And then it happens. I'm like, what the hell do I do now? I might as well try to get a home run or something because the run was already in.
Do you remember what you did after that? After all the hubbub and the run scored? What?
I mean, I remember trying to get to the plate. I was like, no, am I supposed to do something? Like,
no, but the at-bat. You remember the at-bat?
I remember literally trying to hit a home run. It was already so loud, and that side got so quiet. I'm like, well, let's make it more quiet.
That's incredible.
I don't think I did not hit a home run. I tried.
That final out, did you have the ball? What happened to the ball at that point?
I had the ball, so obviously all of us have adrenaline. Chris, I think, had about 30% more adrenaline. He was throwing hard. So I was more focused on trying to make sure I caught it. Because normally he throws a little bit of kind of a riser, and he throws it like 90 miles an hour, so I had to try to catch it. He had a little extra movement that day, and I was more focused on trying to catch the ball than anything else.
But after the final out, do we know what happened to the ball? Did we keep the ball afterwards? Did anybody stick it in their
It's
back
in Cooperstown.
Yeah, right. You know what's funny about this whole thing? Like, I mean, I'm sure this probably accounts for everybody in this room. I can remember vividly so many things that have happened in my life during high school football, specifically, a lot in baseball. But you guys have lived full lives. You're very accomplished people. Chris, you played a little bit longer than the rest of us. Are you surprised how vividly you remember these things that happened in high school baseball 25 years ago?
Well, my dad was giving me the rundown, the whole day anyway. So, and I will, he gave me the East Detroit specifics on the weather that day. I forgot the degrees. Yeah, but what's wild when I walked into those doors today, and you're seeing faces, both parents, coaches, players. The memories really start, coming back, and obviously you see a clip like that, you hear these stories, it kind of comes alive, for me. I remember like the big moment, right? Like I do remember obviously that last out and 30% extra, more adrenaline perhaps on the mound, but after that you just kind of, what do you do now, right? It's actually, it's not awkward, but it's like, okay, we did it, let's celebrate. But then you always have Mark Pepler like rolling in there, his barrel chesting you, taking you down. So that fed some energy. But do you remember this stuff?
yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, he said.
But I mean, a lot of the stats, not so much. But I mean, whether you were a starter, a non-starter, scorekeeper, team manager, whatever, you played a part and you had an impact on this team. And so it didn't matter your role. But what Coach had crafted, the coaches had crafted, Coach Moak too, of course, was something really special. And going back to your question earlier, like we kind of thought about it a little bit at the beginning of the year. we have a pretty good team. We might be able to go all the way. And it worked out that way.
What do you say, Sean?
I mean, I agree. I think back to what, 99, we went to Lakeland, and that year that team was really, really talented. So we got to scrimmage. I think we were on JV at that time, but we got to scrimmage a lot of talent. So we saw kind of where we needed to get to, and thankfully we were able to take it a notch further.
And you know, it's crazy, we live in such an iPhone video world now. That video that we saw up there, I mean, there just wasn't a lot of videos. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody in the audience have any questions? Any teammates want to share anything? Well, very good.
Well, I'll say this real quickly. When we were in Lakeland, I was watching Coach play ping pong for the first time. It's really good. Just had to throw that in.
Yeah, and initially we were going to go out there and speak individually, and obviously this is, I think, much better. You get the stories and much more natural. But whoever put the room list together, I'm pretty sure was you can't really, you didn't gamble on amateur sports back then. You can now. But I was with Todd Lorger and Paul Stevens, and I remember it was about midnight. They were playing ping pong, but it was video. Yeah, and I'm like, guys, it's kind of a big game tomorrow. I think maybe we should get some rest.
That's fantastic. You guys have any final thoughts? Final thoughts on the 01 team tonight? What the program's done since then? Coach Griesbaum's still looking like it's 1985.
I mean, I would say now, being old, having 2 kids, being well immersed in travel sports, I know the parents had a kind of a fraternity as well. So I want to go out and say thank you to all the parents that are here. You guys were absolutely incredible, so thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody that helped put this together. This has been a magical evening. Coach, thanks for everything. And you gave me personally one of the single best years of baseball, the season that I ever experienced. It was because of your leadership and dedication and your morals and principles, and so I'm really appreciative.
Sorry, before we wrap everything up, I just thought of something that makes me laugh all the time. So, talking about being team players, we are going up to Anchor Bay. The coaches get out of the bus. Chad Golke stands up, and he uses language that their kids hear, so I won't say it. But he says, "Everybody shut the F up. I have my humanities project that's due tomorrow, and I haven't started it, so we need to mercy these MFers in 3 innings."
And we did. Anybody else want to come up and say a few words? Any of the 2001 team? Come on up.
One question. Oh, God. One question. Coach, what were you thinking? Squeeze play. Let's talk about that for a moment.
Well, again, as a coach, I'm not really into analytics as much as the newer guys are, okay? I'm old school, and I do a lot of coaching by feel and instinct or whatever. And it just came to me at that point, I gotta do something here. Gotta make something happen. And I wasn't afraid to do that at the time because, again, I really had confidence that if the pitch was anywhere near the plate, then Mike was going to get it down. A lot of you who were around in 2019 were playing North, and it's 10-10 in the 9th inning. We played 2 extra innings. We've got bases loaded, 1 out. So there's a force out at home. Okay, there wasn't a force out at home, 0-1. And Matt Fabry gets up, and he didn't. I didn't like the swings he's getting against Jack Consora, throws upper 80s, low 90s, whatever. 0-2 count. I said, okay, here it comes. I'm calling a squeeze. Pitcher throws it right down the middle. He bunts the ball. And seriously, Matt Bramlage was across home plate before the pitcher even knew what was going on. And we won that game 11-10.
He was 0-2.
0-2, yes. 0-2.
I didn't know that part.
Yes, 0-2. An 0-2 count, definitely. So to answer your question, I don't know. Temporary insanity, whatever, but thank God it worked out. Anybody else would like to come up and talk?
Yep. Very quickly. First off, things like integrity and character are obviously thrown around a lot. When Coach Griesbaum says those words, it's very real. And I remember he'd huddle us in the outfield and he'd say something to the effect of, number 1 is your faith, number 2 is your family, number 3 is academics, and then it's baseball. And then he'd say, it's Friday, I don't want any of you guys getting in trouble. And then he would have a long stare at Loringer and Stevens.
That's not true.
All right, two other.
It was accidental, okay?
Time out. We were blue guys.
2 other quick things. We had an absolutely loaded team, loaded talent. Pepler, Velasic, McLeod, such a talented team. Chad Golke at Elworthy, as a 14-year-old, was putting home run balls onto the tennis court, all the way to, what road is that? Mommy, Charlottesville, something like that. Chad was an absolute beast. And the other cool thing is, we're proud of all the teammates that we had. A lot of the players went on to play collegiately, which is really impressive. So proud of all the team. And then we're especially proud of Chris for how far he's gone. So just quickly, not everyone gets to play high school. Matter of fact, Little League was someone who went on to play the MLB. So just quick 3 things to think about. What is it like to be a teammate of a future MLBer? So really quickly, freshman baseball, Todd Loringer and I, no one went out for shortstop. And mind you, Chris is a year younger than us. Todd and I, we go platoon shortstop, have a successful year. So JV comes around and we're like, we're gonna do this again. Let's run it back, rinse and repeat. And we walk into winter baseball and we see someone already at the shortstop spot in the main gym doing winter ball. And I'm telling you, the sound of the ball hitting the mitt had a lot of pop. And so Todd and I realized that shortstop was now over for us. We played Country Day our senior year, and one of the pitchers, their ace, was throwing 90, low 90s. It was about a foot off the ground. It was impossible to hit. It was a 1-0 game. We were all late on the ball, except for one player on our team who was pulling that pitcher foul, line drives. That was Chris. And then lastly, this Final Four ground ball has been brought up a couple times. So I just want to clarify something there. Final Four game, bottom of the 7th, we're down 5-4. Runners on first and third, and as we all know in baseball, first and third, what's the other team going to do? They're going to steal second. I'm at second base. I'm a platoon guy. I'm very afraid. And you probably don't remember this, but Chris is on the mound trying to close it, and I'm panicking. And I'm like, Chris, I'm looking at Coach. What are we going to cover second or not? Right? If Sean throws the ball down to second and no one's there, what do we do? But there's 2 outs. So I beg Chris, I go, step off the mound. And he steps off the mound, and he was mad. Do you remember this or no? Probably not. And he takes 2 steps towards me at second base, and I'm not going to repeat the exact language. Make a frickin' play. Gets back on there. Pitch is delivered, runner steals second as anticipated. I'm still panicking. I don't cover second, thank the Lord. A little dribbler is hit between first pitcher and second. Charge it, we get the out. But Chris, we're very proud of you and congrats to all that. And it's great to see so many faces. And as Sean said about the parents, the Little League, the practices, all the help. I remember we'd go to Gilbert's after every playoff win, and there was definitely a fraternity there. So thank you, everyone.
Okay, anybody else? Anything else to add, dude?
You know, just one thing, just as a point to you, Coach, and a couple people have mentioned it now, but I think I got this. Yeah, I have a loud voice anyway. That's what people accuse me of. But just a point about you, Coach. I mean, this room is built because of you, and these parents in here. Grosse Pointe baseball is incredible. It starts at the Little League, but it's culminated because of you. And one day, when you're inducted into this Hall of Fame, and maybe even beyond, that room's going to be full for you. You are the catalyst for all of this. And I think more impressive than the 2001 state championship is if you go through the booklet and see what these young men accomplished afterwards with their families and their jobs and their careers. That's the Hall of Fame. That's what Grosse Pointe South baseball is all about. I mean, if you think about since 1987 you've taken over, think of the state championships, the Final Fours. We've had one major leaguer. One. It's about the families, it's about the growth of the person, and what you become after you leave Grosse Pointe South. I mean, I'm here, damn near 30 years later because of you. And we love you. And this is all you.
Thank you so much, but again, I don't do any of this without the help that I received, my assistants, the family, the Dugout Club, my lovely wife, all that. None of that happens. My family, my daughter, my son. You need support, and all of this happens because of them and because of all of you and the great, great people I've had around me. It's just been a pleasure, and I couldn't have been blessed with a better career. Thank you so much for coming. Again, we appreciate it. We'd like to get some pictures in the back, please. Some pictures of the Hall of Famers and so on. And don't forget tomorrow, those of you that are coming to Clemenson for the reception tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Fisher Doors.
Fisher Doors.
They're
okay?
new
Fisher
since you
Doors.
went there last.
Thank you very much. Good evening.